Hi, my name is April Matisz. I'm an artist living in Lethbridge, Alberta, and I'm currently doing my MFA through Emily Carr University. The show I have at the Vault at the Art Gallery of St. Albert is called The Gatherers. I've been working as an artist sort of as long as I can remember. There was a period of time when I did an undergraduate degree in biology where I didn't have time to make any work, but I would still cart around all of my art books and my materials, hoping to find some time. And that was a point where I think it was hard for me to call myself an artist, but generally I've identified as an artist for most of my life. So I've always been really interested in our deep sort of evolutionary history and our entanglement with the environment. And so with the gatherers, I really wanted to focus on the gatherers as part of the hunter-gatherer sort of society that we often think about. And the gatherers were primarily women, and they would be gathering and searching most of the time, looking for food, medicine, or shelter. And I like this idea of the gatherers having this double meaning, people gathering and searching physical things to meet their needs, but then there's also this sort of like a collective search that we're all engaged in, looking for a sort of personal and collective meaning. I've always wanted to do a series that sort of explored our evolutionary psychology. And I first got the opportunity to really devote my practice to this in 2020. I received an art grant from the Alberta Foundation for the Arts. One thing I wanted to focus on in this series was the way in which our evolutionary history and our biology informs how we think and feel, what we imagine and what we desire. So in a sense, there's this lack of agency because there are these other forces that have shaped us. And the armlessness of the bodies throughout suggests this kind of lack of agency. So I began these collages by just cutting out shapes. And I wanted to work on black paper because it sort of has this sense of vulnerability and intimacy, and this feeling of nighttime that is present in these works. It has that sense of the unknown, which is really what searching is all about. I used a lot of origami papers to sort of cut out the figures. One thing I really liked is the way in which certain kinds of origami papers are present as plants, but then also as the figures themselves. So there's a nice conversation between what we're made of and how entangled we find ourselves. So the figures in this series are often sort of accompanied by these ancestral ghosts that are echoing within us. And you can think about our past ancestors as having done things, learned things that in the end get sort of passed on genetically. And so we are a sort of accumulation of thousands and thousands of generations. Some of my favorite parts of making this body of work was watching the people sort of come alive. Once I would get the eyes in place, they became very active, and you could put them in almost any situation and you could almost see them respond to this unique environment. So the playfulness of being able to use these sort of people and play with them, but then have them create their own little personal narratives. It really felt like it was a conversation between me and some of the figures and stories that emerged from this series. I think the gatherers are searching for meaning. They're searching for knowledge and information to help guide them. I think that through an awareness of our past, that these figures sort of build an understanding of our present and our future. We can't really figure out how to solve present problems unless we really know ourselves, what it means to be human, what it means to sort of exist in this contemporary period where there's this huge climate crisis that threatens us. I think they're searching for maybe how we got here and how we can get out of this together.